I'm Brian Coughlin, and I'm the founder and director of Fireworks. This is a group that I founded we're from New York City. I founded the group back in 2000. And the group was the result of a kind of identity crisis that I had when I was in school. I was a bass player playing in rock bands and in jazz groups and in orchestras and all sorts of other different kinds of ensembles. And when I was leaving school, there was a lot of pressure on me to try to pick one career path, to be an orchestral musician or to be a jazz player. And I panicked and I said, I don't want to do that. I want to be able to keep playing all of these wonderful things that I've been doing. So my solution was to move to New York City, where there are lots of wonderful musicians who can play a lot of different styles, and to put together a group that I could compose for and arrange for, and to play all of these different styles that I wanted to do. So we started off as an octet, as flute, clarinet, piano, percussion, violin, cello, bass, and guitar. And we chose that instrumentation, or I chose that instrumentation, because it seemed like it would give us the most flexibility in terms of the styles we could play. So we could be a jazz combo or a rock band if we wanted to, but we could also be a classical piano trio or any number of other sort of classical type of ensembles. And the first piece that we did was a contemporary, or not a contemporary piece, a 20th century orchestral adaptation that I did of a piece by Igor Stravinsky called The Rite of Spring, which was a very sort of powerful piece of early 20th century music that was one of the pieces that really inspired me to become a musician, a classical musician. I heard it when I was in college, and it sounded like rock and roll for orchestra, and I just knew that I had to do something with the piece. So we played that and recorded it, and that sort of put us on the map initially and allowed us to get management and to start touring around. And since then, we've been doing a lot of programs that combine all these different styles together. So we had a program of dance music that was dance music from around the world and going back 700 years. So a huge range of dance music. We've played cartoon scores from the classic animation from the 1930s, 40s, and 50s by the Warner Brothers Studios and MGM Studios, accompanying Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck and Tom and Jerry. We've done a big program of Frank Zappa's music, and what we're here in Marshalltown playing is a program of American music. And it's typically diverse for us, so it covers a huge range of styles, from country to bluegrass to jazz to hip-hop to techno to rock to classical music by Aaron Copland, George Gershwin, and Leonard Bernstein, some Broadway music thrown in there. And what we hope people will hear is not just how diverse American music is, but also how interconnected so many of the styles are, which is something that I found as I was arranging the program. I started to hear the way the music of the blues finds its way into jazz music, and jazz in turn influences music by George Gershwin. When he was writing his American classical music, he used jazz in order to make it sound American, make it sound different than music by Beethoven and Mozart. I also have started to hear the way so much of the music of America has influences from European fiddle traditions. They find their way into bluegrass, into Cajun music, and also into classical music as well. And the music of Aaron Copland, we're going to be playing his hoedown, which is definitely inspired by cowboy fiddle music. So it's we call it American tapestry because I started to hear it as being very interwoven, even though it's very colorful and a kind of wild ride through musical styles. I choose all the repertoire, which is one of the really fun things that I get to do. And my primary goal, once I've decided the concept of what I want to do, my primary criterion is that I just have to love the music. It has to be something that I really like, because I feel like if I don't like it, that's not going to translate to the audience. We really want to be able to believe in what we're doing and love all the pieces that we play. So we're really lucky to be able to only play music that we really like. The other thing that I try to do is to highlight the different skills and talents of the members of the ensemble. So we have some wonderful jazz players in the group. Our pianist, Red Wieringa, our violinist, Sarah Caswell, and our guitarist, Alex Goodman, are all very accomplished and well-respected members of the jazz community in New York City. So I tried to find ways that they could do a lot of improvisation on their instruments, take some solos, and give them some flexibility to really sort of show off what they can do on their instruments. Our cellist, Robert Burkhart, is a wonderful classical cellist, and so he gets some expressive romantic solos to play. And our drummer, Dave, is a closet rocker, so we get him a chance to play some fun drum grooves. So I try to work all that in there, in addition to trying to represent as wide a range of music as I can while sort of showing how they're interconnected.
Have you left anybody out?
I think that's everybody.
And tonight is American music.
So tonight is our American Tapestry program. Yeah, American Tapestry program.
Okay, and how was your trip here?
Trip here was good. We got lucky. So we were worried that the weather might interrupt us, and the last time we were on tour, which was in the fall, we made it to our concert about 5 minutes before it was supposed to start. So we were hoping not to have to repeat that, and we got lucky, so we got in just in time before the weather hit. So we're very happy to be here, very excited to be here.
We want to give a special thank you to, I forgot to read it very specifically, our program tonight was partially funded by the following organizations, and we'd like to thank them: the National Endowment for the Arts, Iowa Arts Council, and the Midwest Arts Touring Fund. We want to thank them for their great support of our organization. They've been ongoing supporters of Live on Stage. They supported us last year and again this year, so we are very thankful for what they allow us to bring to the community. So with that, let's get ready for the show. Tonight we are fortunate to have an ensemble that was formed in 2000, and since they have toured throughout the states and through many countries. In their bio, they state how important education is, and clearly, with the students and the turnout we had today, we know that's true. I learned something. I kept apologizing for how cold it was, and they said, don't worry, we're not from Florida, we're hardy folks. So we've got folks from Minnesota, Indiana, and Wisconsin, so they survived and they knew how to dress for this weather, so they made it. Please help me welcome to the stage Fireworks Ensemble.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. We want to thank Live on Stage Marshalltown very much for having us, and all of you for braving the weather to come out to celebrate American music with us tonight. Fireworks is nominally a classical chamber music ensemble, but as you may have already guessed, we're not a typical classical chamber music ensemble. We like to play a very wide range of musical styles. And for tonight's program, my goal was to celebrate the diversity of American music. But as I started to do the arrangements for the ensemble for this program, I started to hear not only how diverse American music is, but also how interconnected so many of the styles are to one another. And I started to hear, for example, how the harmonies of the blues make their way into jazz, and how jazz in turn influences the classical concert music of composers like Aaron Copland and Leonard Bernstein and George Gershwin, or how the fiddle traditions of Europe in the hands of European immigrants in America find such different expressions in the Cajun music of Louisiana or the bluegrass music of Appalachia. And so I started to hear American music as a kind of tapestry, colorful and richly varied, but also woven together very tightly. And I hope you'll hear some of those connections as we take you on a wild ride through American music tonight. The first piece we played was a spinning song, which is a Navajo traditional piece, a kind of courtship song. And then we went right into some 1960s surf rock with our guitarist Alex Goodman in the role of Dick Dale, the great surf rock virtuoso. And now we're going to play for you perhaps the only hit country song in a minor key, Jolene by the great Dolly Parton. thank you so much. Someone always asks me what this instrument is that I'm playing after every concert, so I figured I would save you the trouble and let you know that it's a bass. It's like the big double bass, the granddaddy version of the instrument that Robert plays, the cello, but this one is a lot easier for us to take with us when we travel. And you might recognize what this instrument is. This instrument is rarely heard in classical chamber music settings. This actually belongs to my 2-year-old son, Henry, and he very graciously allowed us to take it with us on tour. The music that he plays is often described by critics as a cross between avant-garde classical music, punk rock, and free jazz. But this is also useful for Hawaiian music, which is what we're going to be playing for you next. This is a piece called Hilave, and it's an ode to a beautiful waterfall on the big island of Hawaii. So I hope on this cold Iowa day you will sit back, relax, and be transported to a Hawaiian waterfall.
Please welcome back to the stage, Fireworks Ensemble.
Thank you so much. That was a piece called Jumpin' Pumpkins by Mercer Ellington. Mercer Ellington is the son of the great Duke Ellington, and that piece was a staple of Duke Ellington's big band in the 1940s. And now we're going to play some hip-hop for you. It's true. This piece was probably the favorite of the students at Lenahan today. Shout out to those of you who are here with us tonight. We had a lot of fun working with them this afternoon. And as we mentioned to them, the challenge for a group that primarily plays instrumental chamber music when playing hip hop is what to do about the rapping. So what I decided to do in arranging this piece was to give the role of the two rappers in A Tribe Called Quest, the group that wrote this next piece, to give the role of the rappers to our two string players. So you will hear in the role of Q-Tip, Sarah Caswell, and in the role of Fife Dog, Mr. Robert Burkert. Here for our two rappers. you. In just a minute, we're going to play some techno music for you as well. And with techno music is all electronic. So the fun thing about techno music for us is that we get to try to figure out how to make all these electronic sounds on our instruments. And for that piece, we're going to feature Dave Mancuso, our drummer, because it's dance music. But before that, we're going to let Mr. Red Waringa take you for a ride on the honky tonk train.
drums.
much. We're now going to play some shape note music for you. Shape note music is a tradition that reached its peak about the time of the American Revolution. It's a style of choral music, and it's called shape note music because the composers that wrote it used different shapes for the notes of the scale. Some of them were triangles, sometimes squares, in addition to the usual circle notes. And they did this because they wanted the singers to be able to associate the shapes with the notes, because they thought it would make it a little bit easier to sing for non-trained singers. This is probably the most well-known piece from the shape note tradition. The official title in your program is New Britain, but you may recognize it by the first two words of the lyrics. And let's see if you can guess what they are.